All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to be opening the Inlands, Wetlands, and Watercourse Commission for the Town of Trumbull, Connecticut for February 3rd, 2026. I will ask our clerk to do a roll call if she would.
Richard Gerard,
Present.
John Loria,
John's here.
John,
He's fiddling with his new computer, but he's here.
Carmine DeFeo,
Here.
Richard Deacon,
Present.
David Verespi,
Present.
Greg Cernica,
Present.
Bob Ferrigno,
Present.
town staff Tatiana Solove,
Here.
John Mayer,
Here.
Attorney Cordone.
Here.
Great, thank you.
And for the record, John Mayer, our engineer, is having a problem with his video. So that's why he's not on the screen. All right, at this point, I'm going to ask our town attorney, Mr. Cordone, to give us the legal aspect of conducting a Zoom video meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The meeting tonight is being conducted remotely over the internet and telephone. The agenda and supporting materials were posted on the town website 24 hours in advance of tonight's meeting. If there's a public hearing tonight, you will be given an opportunity to speak and instructions will be given at that time. I'd ask the commission to please make sure you're recognized by the chair prior to speaking. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to open new business application 26-02, Joseph Giuliano. It's a permit approval for an in-ground pool within a regulated area at 17 Applegate Lane. Tatiana, do you know if the applicant is going to be doing a presentation or do we? Yep, I see Tracy, that's his representative.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, this is Tracy Shalafo. I'm a landscape architect based in Danbury, Connecticut, representing Mr. Giuliano tonight. Also, I believe on the call, we have Manny Silva of Rose Tiso, who is our engineer. So I'd love to open, if you wouldn't mind me sharing my screen, I can display the pool site plan. Okay, is this visible to everyone?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So I would like to start by just bringing the commission up to date with the recent activities that have happened at the property. Namely that the wetland restoration plan has been fully implemented. So just a refresher, that included removal of fill from the wetlands to the pre-disturbance topography, which was reflected on the restoration plan dated from last summer. And the rain garden was constructed. The demarcation boulders were placed along the agreed upon line. And plaques were also placed at the recommended spacing at the boulders. And the native wetland plants were installed, which was an array of trees, shrubs, and perennials, and the rain garden was also planted. Additionally, a stormwater system was installed at the bottom of the driveway here. That was a request from the town. Also, there was one additional tree added beyond the approved wetland restoration plan, and that's because a tree that was dead was removed. So an additional amelanchier was provided as part of this wetland restoration plan. So that said, what you see before you now is a proposal for a new swimming pool environment that would greatly increase the usability of the homeowner's property and increase the enjoyment for their family. The plan has been carefully thought out to stay out of the historical conservation easement / wetland limit line, which is here. And the proposal is for a 16 by 34 vinyl or liner pool and a related patio, which would likely be unit pavers. So there's an existing patio at the rear of the house, and the size would be increased slightly, and there'd be a couple of steps coming up to the pool environment, which has been nestled carefully into the hillside. Also, there'd be some steps coming down to the rear yard, and there's a proposed play area, which is approximately 18 by 28 feet in size. We expect this would probably be a type of mulch or safety surfacing, retained by a railroad tie retaining wall and an edge. This area would be lawn. There would be a pool enclosure fence. The pool equipment would be here at the sidewall of the house. And I would just like to point out that throughout this process, we studied various swimming pool layouts, and we quickly realized that this standard 20 by 40 in-ground pool was not appropriate to fit this site. So after several renditions and several concept plans, we realized that a pool of 16 by 34 in size just fits the site really well and also meets the homeowner's needs for a swimming pool environment. There's a gate here at the rear corner of the house, and there's also a gate at the bottom of the steps. These steps would likely be wooden steps or unit paver steps. And the grading is shown on the site plan as well. The existing septic system is located here. The construction access route would be coming from the roadway along the west side of the property. Oh, sorry, it's actually the east side of the property. Construction access would be avoiding the septic system and coming down and around to access the area. There are no changes proposed to the existing driveway or the existing front walk or the rear deck rather. I'd be happy to take any questions, or I could turn this over to Manny Silva if you have any engineering related questions about the stormwater management. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the commission before we go to the applicant's engineer?
Through the chair.
The chair. Well, go ahead, Greg.
Thank you. What do you know what type of filtering system is going to be installed? Is there backwash? Where's the backwash go? That kind of stuff.
I actually don't have that information, but the homeowner, Mr. Giuliano, may have that information, or we could get those answers to you.
Yeah, we don't necessarily need it tonight, but we're going to need it resolved. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else before we go to
That would be
Mr.
me.
Silva?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, David.
Michelle, is there additional planting that's going to be going in below the walls and stuff?
There's no planting proposed on this site plan. However, I have had conversations with the homeowner about desire for plantings surrounding the swimming pool environment. So we expect that there would be a planting bed of upland plantings or ornamental plantings, probably just below this retaining wall. And we had also discussed planting this actually northern slope just to help hold the soil in place. Additionally, screen plantings between the roadway and the swimming pool environment is strongly desired by the homeowner.
Okay, we'd love to see what you have planned. Is there sufficient space for construction access around the end of the septic system?
Yes, there is. In fact, this is the access that we've been utilizing throughout the wetland restoration process.
Okay. I just want to make sure that, they're not going to say, oh, let's move these boulders out of the way and make life a lot easier.
Yeah, there's ample space in between the boulders so they can maneuver the machinery around.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Rich.
Just two things. First of all, I noticed that this application does involve a propane tank. And secondly, I wanted to know if there had been any discussion about monuments.
Didn't we discuss that in the last meeting?
I guess my concern is that something's going to be changed that would change the monuments, especially considering there's a propane tank on site.
Are you talking where the boulders are, Rich?
Right. The
Okay,
monument-
what we did there, if I'm correct, and Tracy or Mr. Silver can tell us, we asked that a 4x4 post be put there with the marker. Am I correct? That's what we asked for because there's no way to really put our markers on the boulders. So,
Yeah, I think we were talking about 3 of them. Can you hear me okay
Right.
now?
yeah,
Am
you're
I
loud.
sound
yes,
okay?
you're good. You're good,
Okay,
John.
thank you.
Okay. And also, they're relocating the propane tank. I don't know if that affects the markers.
Tracy speaking through the chair. Just to answer the question about the markers, the wetland markers, they have been installed, and I believe that there are 3 placed. They're in the photographs, but just not reflected on this plan yet. But they're probably approximately here, and somewhere in here. And our intention is to stay out of this area throughout construction. And when the propane tank is relocated, we do not intend on putting it within the wetland or conservation area. Although the new location is not shown on this site plan, it may end up just being an upright tank or 2, but we need to figure out what that location will be.
Okay, because it did notice it at the bottom right corner of the home.
Bottom.
I think your mouse just disappeared.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, it would be the bottom left corner of the residence. I'm looking in the wrong place. It says
Sure.
propane tank relocated. Is they're going to be putting it in that general vicinity?
If we can, we'd like to keep it in this vicinity. Otherwise, we'll have to look at an alternative location.
Oh, that's great. It's completely out of the wetland.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
intention. We do not want anything within the wetlands.
Okay, yeah, that's. I just wanted to confirm that that's where it was. That was a significant upgrade. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else from the commission before we go to Mr. Silva? All right, Mr.
Through the
Silva,
chair.
if you would.
Richard, you can't see me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Carmine. Yes, go ahead.
A couple technical questions. On the application, it mentions 3,900 square feet of fill. Is that supposed to be cubic feet?
I do not have the application in front of me. I could get that answer to you. It's probably square feet, but before I answer for certain, I need to look at the application. Would you like me to get back to you with that answer?
Yes, please.
Okay.
The other question is, what drawing are you showing?
The drawing that I'm showing is it's a pool site plan dated September 19th, 2025.
And what's the sheet
SP1.
number?
SP1.
SP1. That said, there's also an SP1 that has been prepared by Rose Tiso that shows
Well,
drainage.
we don't
information.
have that updated. We don't have that updated. Mine is dated January 4th, 2025.
I'd have to look at the submission.
I'll take it back. There are some revisions. 9/23/25 is the latest revision on this.
9/23/25. Okay, that
He's
makes
looking at the
sense.
Rose Tiso plan.
Yes, that's the date of the Rose Tiso plan is my understanding, the revision date.
So you're saying that one is the 9/23/25?
Yes, I believe the Rose Tiso plan is. And that reflects this, the line work of this site plan is on the Rose Tiso plan.
But the
plus
92325, if you're showing 92325, that's not the same drawing I have.
That's correct. This is a different drawing. This is the landscape drawing of the site plan.
But you said that was SP1?
Yes, they have the same sheet numbers, but one is prepared by Tracy Shalifo LLC and the other is prepared by Rose Tiso.
Well, we were not issued that pool site plan SP1.
Yeah, we don't have it.
Manny Silva for the record. This is Manny Silva from Rose Tiso and Company, 35 Brentwood Avenue, Fairfield, Connecticut. The SP1 that you're referencing from Rose Tiso has the pool and the play area, or at least it should. And I can bring that up if Tracy lets me bring it up.
Yes.
And it's basically the same plan. Tracy's plan
Well-
references my plan. And
But
so
the
line,
SP1 I have shows a picket fence. And yours, that one that was just up, does not show a picket fence.
so is the plan that you have looks like this, correct? It's Rose Tiso Company with the revision date. And the picket, you said there was a picket fence? Hold on, let's see.
Yeah.
Right there to the right, behind the driveway.
Right, that's an existing picket fence. It's not proposed. I think there is one there.
Okay,
Yep.
but the
Yep.
drawing that she just had up, that what she was referencing, did not show that, so I don't know what else is on that drawing that we can't see.
Okay, what we can do is we can make sure that we coordinate this. I think this picket fence came up in the survey. And that's an existing feature. But we can definitely make sure that everything is coordinated between, although she should have the picket fence, maybe it's just like frozen out or something. Is that correct, Tracy?
That's correct. It's graphically indicated and it's in the survey. It is an existing picket fence.
Right. So the picket fence is an existing feature that hasn't changed. I don't, if the commission would like, I could continue on with what I wanted. I can present.
What I'm saying, that's the only thing I've got it right now. I don't know what else might be different between these drawings. You're asking us to approve something that we're looking at versus what you're presenting. That's a conflict.
Tracy, can you, if I'll let you share again and maybe you could point it
Sure.
out if it is on your plan?
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Because the drawings they're from the same CAD base, so they should be coordinated.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, David.
Which of these plans, they're both labeled SP1. Which one of these plans is the official site plan? Because
So
one of them
the,
needs to be the official site plan.
I would say Tracy's is, mine is just a support plan for the engineering the engineering piece, which is the drainage and the
Right, so
Yep.
one of them should be labeled SP1 for the site plan,
mhm.
and one of them should be named something else. I don't know, maybe SE1 or something for site engineering.
Yep.
Or DE or D1 for drainage one or something like that. But typically, one needs to be the site plan and one needs to be something other than that, because the site plan, there should only be one official site plan. Does that make sense?
Yes, noted. We'll
Thank you.
take care of that.
Okay. If you can all see the plan, this is the picket fence here. The existing picket fence.
All right. So you can just make a notation on it that that's what it's showing? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Silver, do you want to do your spiel, as they say?
Yes, sir. All right, let's see if I could share here. So as the commission knows, the project has gone through its first phase, which was the remediation or basically the remediation of the activity that had previously occurred on site. Just to refresh your memory, we had designed and sized this rain garden for the eventual proposal that you have in front of you today. So this rain garden here was sized for the coping around the pool itself and the pool development, and then the playground area, which was addition to that original proposal, is a pervious surface. So there wasn't that much consideration for sizing due to the play area, as it will be a pervious surface. In addition to this mitigation area where we constructed the rain garden, we also were asked to, as an additional feature, to store and treat the water quality volume of the existing driveway that was on the site prior to the driveway itself was not a violation, but we were, as an additional mitigative implement, we've added this underground gallery system to treat the water coming off that existing driveway. The overall design will reduce the amount of runoff from the site prior to any development in the 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, and the 25-year storm event. And then, as I stated before, we also calculated what the water quality volume to bring it up to the 2025 DEP standards, and we exceed the required volume for the water quality volume on the site. So how the drainage works is this paver area will, once rain falls on it, will sheet flow and get scrubbed through this lawn area and sheet flow towards the rain garden, where it'll be collected here. And then there's a level spreader on the other side, downhill side of it, that will control the stormwater and slow it down before it enters this mitigated area where you have new wetland plantings and then on into the wetland itself. As you can see here, the overflow spillway is a riprap spillway, and the detail is here. We went with the riprap because it's a more natural looking feature versus something that's concrete or of a solid nature. So it's basically the rain garden will overflow into this little depressed area, and then this will have a level lip on the downhill side, and then that will go through the newly planted wetland area, and then onto the watercourse that's just past the wetlands. Again, the project is protected during construction by a silt fence envelope. We have a construction entrance here made out of stabilized or riprap to knock off any sediment off of the truck or any vehicles that will come off the site, so it doesn't track it into the road. And then we have a stockpile area, which is here just south of the playground area. Again, the playground area is a future thing that'll happen after the pool. And then we will also have a concrete washout area as required by the town. That's detailed here. That's just silt fence and some hay bales around an area so that the concrete truck can wash out and not transport any. And they have just a place to put the washout concrete, and so they just don't put it somewhere on the site randomly. And then here's a detail of the silt fence and how that is installed. And then if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Again, this is kind of what we designed this rain garden for, the ultimate goal for it. So everything is size appropriate appropriately for the proposal in front of you.
Through the
Okay,
chair,
before I go to the commission, either John Mayer or Tatiana, do you have any comments for the commission?
Not a lot of comments really. As applicant's representative stated, the first phase has been implemented according to the plan. I will note that there was one condition that we mutually agreed upon that should not be met until phase 2 is completed, which is filing the rain garden on the land records, because the outfall hasn't been constructed, so that would be part of phase 2. And it just made more sense to finish phase 2 and file the final product, I suppose, on the land record. So that's the only deviation, but we had that discussion and we felt it was appropriate. So thank you.
All right, so when this goes to approval, if you can make sure you bring that up so we can make that one of the conditions then. All right,
Through the chair.
open to the commission.
Through the chair.
Good.
Through the chair.
Rich, go ahead. Well, I see Rich. I'm sorry, Carmine. Go ahead, Rich.
Just to confirm, there's a number of plantings. I'm not sure if Mr. Verespi had a chance to review them, but all the plantings here are native to New England, correct? Or at least the northeast of the United States.
I've not had a chance to review the plantings.
Okay.
This is Tracy speaking. The plantings that you're seeing here, they are actually the native wetland plants that they were part of the approved restoration plan, and they all are now existing. They've all been installed.
Okay, so there's no new plantings coming in?
You're not seeing any proposed plantings on this site plan. That is correct. What you're seeing is what has already been installed.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Carmine?
Through the chair, Mr. Silva, can you point out where the silt fence is on the drawing?
Hold on. So the silt fence is this red line with the red square or with the squares. That's the silt fence line. It's above the boulder area because we want to use the silt fence line as basically the limit of disturbance, so that no one even gets close to crossing into this new established wetland line.
Can you actually put the arrow on it? Because I don't see any red.
Hold on.
I don't see anything
I'll
marked
change it.
silt fence.
We're seeing black and white.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Was in the CAD drawing. I thought I switched over. So it's right here. I'll actually make it red. Hold on.
And
That should
can it
be
be
labeled.
Can it be labeled?
Yeah, I'll label it. I think it's labeled in the legend, but I'll have it labeled directly onto the line. It's right here. So that's our delineation line, or limit of disturbance and the silt fence line for this phase of the project. Let me just see if there's a legend here. Yeah. Yep.
Can you make sure that goes on to Tracy's drawing also?
Yeah, I will. We'll make sure that we coordinate that. I believe it was, but I could be wrong. But we'll ensure that it's coordinated.
Right.
Thank
It
you.
is on the site plan that I prepared, and actually it is labeled here. If you just kind of look immediately below the rain garden, you'll see the silt fence typical label. Just a little bit up.
Oh, right
Manny,
here.
right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I see it. Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Right there.
Are you done, Carmine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Yeah, a question about the play area. Is that a pervious surface or an impervious surface? This is the future play area that's being proposed.
So we told the owner that that's what we're proposing is a pervious surface. It cannot be an impervious surface. So it has to be some kind of mulch or I think they call it some kind of safe and play material that allows rainwater to go through it and percolate into the ground. It cannot be an impervious surface.
Putting swing sets there, or are we talking about a pickleball board court?
No. It's like swing sets, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Did we really even need to have inland wetlands permit for doing something like that?
That's a good question. I mean, it is just kind of a railroad tie box with some pervious material in it, but we are going to regrade it a little bit along the edges.
Okay.
So that's why we have it in the application.
As long as it's pervious. Thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else from the commission? All right, we're good. All right, there be no other comments, questions. One issue we are going to have, we would normally be walking this, but you might have noticed we have a little bit of snow on the ground. And normally I would make this walk the 16th or the 23rd of February, and I do not see you being able to stake out the four corners of the pool or the play area. So what I'm going to say, we'll make it the 23rd. If there's still snow, we'll have to continue the walk to the, sometime in March, just so you're aware of it. All right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay, I need a motion to close new business.
Motion.
Motion by Greg, seconded by Bob
Second.
Ferrigno. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Quick question. We expect when we go on the walk to be those four corners for the play area and the pool to be already in place, right?
Yep. So
Okay,
like I
just
said,
so the
it's-
applicant knows that. Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Like I said, if it turns out to be an issue, then we'll walk it in March. So,
Pending the snow removal.
all right, we're going to old business application 25-31, Henry Pan. Permit approval for change of grade, plantings and removal of debris within a regulated area at 207 Tashua Road. I understand that the applicant has hired an attorney, and at this point, I'm going to ask our town attorney, Attorney Cordone, to explain that I understand they want to do a withdrawal. So if you would, Counselor?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. After receiving the, an attorney, Nathaniel Ship, has told the commission, or Tatiana, our wetlands agent, that he's now representing the client as of today. In discussing the application with the wetlands agent and with the chairman, we received a report from the Southwest Conservation Commission, which recommended the third-party review of the soils by soil scientists, and also perhaps an environmental review. In talking with Attorney Ship, they have issued a letter to withdraw the application and resubmit so that we can restart the timeline. And they have agreed in that letter also to retain the third-party environmental and third-party soil scientists, which will be selected by the town. So the next application will come in, which is basically restarting the timeline for them, and they will also be coming in with those third-party reports on behalf of the town.
Do we have a timeline on them coming back in?
Well, yeah, the letter states that it should be imminent, and if they do not, we have the ability to begin to proceed with fines as it's a violation.
Can we put a time limit within 30 days or something like that, or 60 days, or?
Yeah, I think that's the understanding, Commissioner Verespi, that certainly if it's not acted on within the next 30 to 60 days, we would immediately proceed to violations.
Can we quantify that?
I'm sorry?
Can we quantify that via a letter or something?
Sure, I can follow up with that. Was spoken in communication with Attorney Ship today, and in his letter, he states that they want to diligently pursue the application. So I will follow up with him on that in writing.
Okay.
We're good.
Comment?
Go ahead, Bob. I see Bob's hand up. Go ahead.
Yes, there's some recommendations, suggestions in that Southwest report. Is the soil scientist going to review that report and go along with recommendations that the Southwest suggested?
Yes, they will.
Thank you.
Carmine?
Can we just make sure too, when they do reapply, that they follow the timeline that's in our regulations as far as when they submit the information? In other words, if they're going to request to have the April meeting, we shouldn't be getting this information, March 31st.
All right,
Yes,
well, that's,
Commissioner.
it's a good point because we do ask that they submit 2 weeks beforehand. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Colleen or Tatiana, I believe we asked for 10 hard copies to be delivered, 7 of which goes to the commission. And again, it's not only important for us, but for engineering to have enough time to review it. So it's a good point. So we'll kind of emphasize that they follow that. All right. So that being said, we have to make a motion. Greg? A motion for 25-31. That
Yep.
on the withdrawal that they will agree to the let's see, the hiring of a third-party soil scientist and environmentalist. If you have any suggestions, Attorney Cordone, jump right in.
No, that's fine, Mr. Chairman. We can make that. The application is being withdrawn and resubmitted with the understanding that they've agreed to do those, to pay for those third-party reports. So if you'd like to make that
We
motion.
have to even, do we even have to do a motion or are we covered?
I think we're covered at this point.
Okay, then I withdraw the motion. And if that be the case, let's move on to application 25-35, Amad LLC, Anatoly Gurvich. It's a permit approval for additional 24 paid parking spaces within a regulated area at 101 Merritt Boulevard. And at this point, I'm going to ask Tatiana to kind of give us the overview on this before we go to Mr. Silva.
Certainly, maybe Mr. Silver can do an overview, but happy to do so. So we've worked with the applicant's representatives to split the application in 2 phases. So should the commission decide to proceed with a vote tonight, it can be done in a way where remediation phase 1 is implemented first, and phase 2 cannot commence until completion of first phase. So that's the general idea, and then I'll let applicant give their
And that would be a condition of approval. That they complete phase 1 before they do phase 2, and that it would have to be done. All right. Mr. Silva, if you would.
Good evening, Manny Silva from Rose T-Zone Company, 35 Brentwood Avenue, Fairfield, Connecticut, representing the applicant. As the commission has seen before, and just stated, the project, the intent of the project is to create additional spaces near the, phase 1 will be the remediation of the area that was cut here in the upland review area. We have prepared a planting plan by Bill Kenny, which is here, is to replant the trees all cut within that upland review area behind the town's pump station. Again, the site itself, the trees that were cut down were mostly tree of heaven, which are invasive in Connecticut, and there were some black cherries, so we replaced the black cherries. We have some red maples in there, some aspen, and some elm trees. So it's establishing, we removed the invasive, or the owner without a permit removed the invasive trees within the upland review and some others, but now is replanting them with all native trees that are native to Connecticut. Phase 2 will be the construction of a grass pave area, which is a stabilized grass area, as deferred parking spaces here adjacent to the office building, and where there's a parking lot currently. One thing that was requested by engineering to mitigate the intensification of the use, changing from a regular parking field up here to tractor trailer parking, is to add a oil water separator, a downstream defender in this case, So we added an offline unit, which will treat the stormwater coming from the existing parking lot. Treat it in this swirl concentrator by slowing it down, separating out any suspended solids and any floatables within the unit itself, and then going into the existing outfall or head wall where the current pipe discharges to today. After the storm event continues on, and then you start getting clean water coming through this system. After 2 CFS, this downstream fender will then bypass through the higher pipe, that's the existing pipe that comes out to the wetland area. Therefore, the water coming off of the parking lot will be treated. That first flush will be collected and treated, and would increase the water quality of the wetland area from the existing condition today. The phase 2 planting plan has also been prepared by William Kenny and Associates. We have it here. We have some, again, here's that gravel pave area, which is a pervious surface. It's not impervious, and it's a deferred parking. Hopefully zoning will not even require it. But in case they do, we'll have this grass area that's stabilized. And then we will have additional plantings just adjacent between this new parking area and the wetland area. I believe that was everything that the commission and staff had asked us to do. And we hopefully you agree. Thank you.
All right, questions from the commission?
Through the chair,
Go ahead, Carmine.
on that separator that you're proposing to the right of the new parking spots. I'm a little confused. You're saying that after the volume velocity increases above 2 cubic feet a second, it bypasses the separator, the defender?
Yes. So Manny Silva again. So what we're doing is we're going to add the downstream defender, and we're going to set the invert of the downstream defender 8 inches below the existing inverts of the pipes that go through right now. So right now there's 2 pipes that come in and 1 goes out. They're all at the same elevation. So we're going to set the downstream defender 8 inches below that. So the water goes into the downstream defender first. And then once the capacity of an 8-inch pipe when it's at full flow is about 2 cubic feet per second. And I did the calculation. The first inch of rainfall, or the 1.3 inch of rainfall on the existing parking lot, is something less than 1 CFS. So it's about 0.6, I believe, if my memory serves. So that the 2 CFS actually exceeds the water quality volume for the parking lot that we're treating. And then once, say you have a 24-hour rain event that's going to, say it's a 25-year storm and it's going to rain 5 inches of rain on the parking lot, that first inch, which is the first flush, the dirty water, will then go through the downstream defender, get collected. But then as the storm continues and it keeps washing, keeps falling on the pavement, and that's just clean water that's coming off the pavement now, because the oils and grit has already been washed off. That will then, as it exceeds the 2 CFS or 2 cubic feet per second, it'll start bypassing to the original pipe that then went out to the wetland area.
Okay. My concern, what I can't get my head around is, we get some of these thunderstorms in the summertime to where you literally think someone dumped a pail of water on your head. The water the sky just opens up and there's a deluge of water. You're saying that type of a system is under the 1 cubic feet a second when it hits that point?
Correct. So those flash floods are actually, they're less than an inch, but their intensity is much higher. So if you had that intense downpour for, usually they happen for 15 minutes, say. If you have had that for an hour, that would equate to probably an inch or 2 inches per hour. It never exceeds that really. So even though that intensity is very quick, it still does not generate more than the 2 CFS in this case. In fact, you even say you had 1 inch, 2 inches per hour, and it was 15 minutes, that would make it still a half an inch of rainfall. It just happens in 15 minutes, and therefore it causes local flooding because the catch basins themselves cannot take that intensity of water at one time, and it takes them a while to catch up to that flow. So if you really think about it, the downstream defender will overperform even in that sense, because the catch basins themselves will not let the water come into the system. It'll flood the parking lot, and then it kind of meters into the system from the catch basin surfaces.
Yeah, because what I'm
So the water
concerned about is
the water is actually held, when there is a high intensity rainstorm, the water is actually held on the surfaces themselves. That's why you see the flooding. But then as they drain slowly, usually within the hour or two, that will then will not exceed the capacity of the downstream defender itself.
even though that parking lot is the size that it is, it's thousands of square feet.
Yeah, I actually gave a calculation. Your engineering partner asked me to quantify it, and I sent them that answer. Again, I believe from my recollection of that calculation, it was less than 1 CFS, and the system can actually treat double that, or 2 CFS.
Thank you. It just
Yep.
doesn't.
No, we
doesn't-
definitely thought about it. So, and you're in Tatiana, to her credit, she thought of it also, and she made me put the numbers to it. So that's what we did.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Through the chair.
Good, John.
Let's ask another question about the downstream defender. Is that like a swirl concentrator that we've got going on in here? You said we're going to do.
Yes, exactly. It
Well,
is here. I'll actually, the downstream defender. I was going to pull up the detail, but
Yeah,
the
that would be
downstream
good.
defender is a unit that actually the inlet pipe comes in tangent to the structure, which is a round structure, and it makes it swirl around basically a siphon hood that's inside of it, and it causes these little vortices. It causes the water to make these little tornadoes inside. That, if you can imagine, when you I don't know, when you do a whirlpool in the pool when you're a kid, all the garbage goes into the middle, right? All the stuff at the bottom of the pool goes right into the middle, and that's basically what this does, except it does it like in many little vortices around the ring of the structure, and anything that's suspended in the water down to about, I think it was 2.8 microns, which is tiny, will then drop out of the water column and then end up at the bottom. And then also, because it has that siphon hood in the middle, the water has to actually go into those little vortices, go down to almost underneath that hood, and then up the center column. And that stops any kind of floating oils or any garbage, and it gets trapped in the outer ring, so that any oil, grease, any trash, anything that floats, paper, water, plastics, gets caught in it, and does not go downstream into the wetlands.
So that's my next question. So you said it gets caught in it. Is there a sump that this material gets eventually dumped into, or is it clogged around inside the concentrator? And how do you maintain it? And will there be a maintenance manual and maintenance requirements for this?
Yes, there will be a maintenance manual filed on the land records, as typical with this. Let me just see.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a picture of it.
Yeah, I'll show you a detail. So that's what it looks like when you put it before it goes in the ground. But let's see, technical information. So if you look at it here, I don't know if you can see this.
Uh-huh.
There's an outer ring to it. This is where the water comes in tangentially on it, and it creates all these little vortices, and there's a cone on the bottom. And then so the suspended solids fall onto the cone and then into this funnel, and then end up at the bottom in the sump here.
Uh-huh.
And then the floatables get caught in the outer ring here. So if you imagine this is always full of water here, right? And so anything that comes into it and is floating cannot get outside into the outlet pipe because the outlet pipe is directly connected to this center chimney here. So the water actually swirls around in here, goes down past this cone and then up the middle and out. So, because you're making it this circuitous kind of flow pattern, you trap your floatables on this outer ring here, and then the
Solids?
the solids get caught at the bottom. And how they clean this is they open up this manhole and they suck out all the floatables on the outer ring first, and then they go down the middle here and they get all the grit and sand and all the solids out from the sump below it. And in the on the plans themselves, we have basically we have a kind of a summary of what the maintenance should be of them. Every 6 months, we should be checked and vacuumed if any sediment greater than 12 inches. But we'll actually have as per the engineering requirements, we'll have a maintenance and operation and maintenance plan that the owner will sign and then file on the land records also with and they'll be required to have logs on site to make sure that the maintenance is completed.
Okay. One other question now, it's a different one. It was my original question was this area of disturbance where we're going to do some mitigation. Are we still having a beaver issue there? And will that mitigation really be like underwater, or is that still up on solid land there?
So my understanding is that the owner has already engaged a volunteer group that takes care of beavers, and they're going to put a dam bypass in. So it's a cage area that they put in the wetland area, that then has a pipe in it, so the beavers can't plug up the inlet of it, and then and they can control the water level that way, and they'll bypass the beaver dam with the bypass pipe. And the reasoning, from what they told me, is that destroying the beaver dam, they'll just rebuild it. And trapping the beavers and relocating them is a temporary solution because where those beavers came from, others will come from. And in this case, it's most likely Roosevelt Forest in Stratford. They come up river or up the creek there.
Huh.
So what they do is they've gone to a measure of basically controlling the water level by having a submerged pipe that's in a cage, and then that goes over their dam, and then downstream of their dam is where the water gets discharged. That helps controlling the flooding that the beavers will create. Otherwise, as I said in previous meetings, is if you don't control the beavers or do anything, they'll end up flooding the whole place. So those measures have been, I guess, are starting to go into place to try to control the water level.
Okay, I guess you'd need to get that under control though before you can do that mitigation, right?
Yes, so that he's actually engaged those people, and then they're starting. I believe they've started to do some of their work already.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
For the record, John, when we were out there, we noticed the level of the water was down quite a bit.
Okay.
Because they've installed pipes and different things. So, okay, other commissioners? Go ahead, Carmine.
In the remediation area, is there enough room between those stumps to plant those trees, or do any of those stumps have to be removed?
So if the stumps themselves are not large, I believe the trees that were there that were cut down were not that old, and that's due to the city actually installed the sewer line to the pump station. I don't know, not that long ago, and probably had to clear that or whatever for maintenance. majority of the gauges were pretty small. I think there was a couple, that were larger, but it shouldn't be an issue to replant. Again, it was a lot of tree of heaven, which are small gauge to begin with, and the lantern flies were going to town on their stumps. So I don't believe there'll be an issue planting the new trees with the stumps in place.
Thank you.
All right, David Verespi, have you had a chance to peruse that?
Yes, I looked at the planting. Everything looks in good order. Bill Kenny does an excellent job with the plantings.
All right, so if this were to go to a vote, you'd be comfortable with it? And same thing with Bob Ferrigno? Both of you are comfortable then?
Yes, one
I'm
question, Mr.
comfortable with the
Chairman.
planting.
All right,
Yeah, I
good,
agree.
Bob, you had a question?
Yeah, can I have comments from Tatiana and John on these two projects?
Yes, through the chair, Tatiana. We have reviewed the water quality structure and had some back and forth with an engineer, so we are satisfied with what's been submitted.
On both the projects?
Well, first phase is really remediation. It's more replanting, which is kind of outside of my expertise, and the
Okay.
water quality structure. And second phase is just an add-on parking area. So
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? All right, in that case, Greg?
Yep.
To make a motion to approve as submitted?
I'd like to make a motion to approve application 2535, IMAG LLC, permanent approval for additional 24 paved parking spaces within a regulated area at 101 Merritt Boulevard, in accordance to the following conditions from the Town of Trumbull Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission. Section 1, general conditions 1.1 to 1.10. Section 2, site-specific conditions of approval 2.9. All new plantings in phase 1 shall have a survivability period of 1 year minimum or as determined by the town engineer. Section 3, additional conditions. Phase 1, to replant the area behind the town pumping station that was cut down with where 59 trees were cut down. This phase 1 needs to be completed before phase 2 can start. 3.2, phase 2, commencing after the completion of phase 1 to construct additional parking area. And then 3.3, applicant to submit an operating and maintenance plan for the downstream defender to engineering. That's what I have.
Tatiana, have we missed anything? You're good?
With phase 1 completion, would the commission like any report or any inspection?
Yeah, I would say report should go to the our engineer, and then you would review it. And you could, report to us if there's any deficiencies or issues.
Okay,
Are you
thank you.
comfortable with that?
Through the chair,
Good, David.
we had originally asked them to divide this into 2 separate applications so we could act on them individually. And they've decided against that and to go with one application just phased. The phase 2 of this application is an imposed hardship, meaning that they've done something else with the other parts of the property that are forcing them to do this. But it kind of puts us in an awkward spot where we either have to approve the whole thing to get a remediation or not approve the whole thing. And that's why we had originally asked them to split it into 2 applications. But they chose not to do that.
I agree with you,
Okay,
David.
well,
Mr. Chairman, can I comment on Mr. Verespi's comment?
go ahead, Rich.
I've stated since the beginning of this application, there's 2 parts to it. One of them should be a separate issue that we can deal with, the pump station. The second issue should have never come to wetlands. It is an unfair hardship that the zoning commission needs to deal with, that
You're-
we forced them.
What's your
And
computer?
it's not fair that we've ordered this applicant to, because of their decision to park trucks or whatever other legitimate permitted use they want to use for their property. And this is not the fault of the Wetlands Commission. This is the fault of the zoning code. They're forced to come before us. I still think they should have gone before the ZBA and gotten a waiver, and they would never would have had to come to us to begin with.
Battery's running
To Mr. Verespi's point, I still think that it should be two separate applications, because the first one should never be here. It should have been not even administratively approved. It should never even had to have come here. I feel like the town has forced them to waste time and resources on this. The second issue with the pump station is a completely different matter.
Okay, Tatiana, we had talked about this and it was decided, I think you talked to the applicant that they wanted to do it all under one application. You want to give us your thoughts?
Yeah, there's been multiple discussions. If the commission is more comfortable, there could be a condition of approval that prior to commencement of phase 2, an appropriate zoning ZBA, whatever permits shall be obtained, just a suggestion or idea. But we've had mutual understanding that it may be a cleaner process for the commission and the applicant.
No, we didn't though. We already decided that we were gonna have two applications and you did this on your own, Tatiana.
Not true. Not on my own. I don't have that power, but even last
Okay,
meeting.
but it wasn't what the commission had agreed with and asked for before. It was changed without the consultation of this commission. So somebody's overstepped their bounds, or they think they're more important than the whole commission. And it wasn't a decision that should have been made by our agent because we already made a decision what we wanted.
At the last meeting, I've updated this commission that we're splitting this application in 2 phases, and the commission was in total agreement with that and even voted on continuing.
Okay.
So I really don't want to be portrayed as overstepping this commission.
Okay, you know what? Maybe it was a misunderstanding with 2 phases in our mind,
Maybe.
meaning 2 applications. And I don't mean to get all over you on this, but I think we didn't do what we asked. And I agree with David, and I did agree with Rich on this. I've said my part.
Well, right now, phase 1 is the issue of the trees. So if they complete that, and then they go for the parking, then P&Z will make its force that part of it. So right now we have the motion out there, and I say we move it the way it is because unfortunately, Tatiana did explain it as being a 2-phase project, and I think if you misunderstood it, then it's an issue. But I think we can go ahead and do the motion as so, and like she said, she'll get the report on the trees, and if that's not satisfactory, then we won't let them move ahead with phase 2. All right, we're good.
Somebody seconded it?
Okay, as I said, there is a motion and Rich is seconding it.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I'm asking if someone had seconded it.
Oh, no, well, who wishes to second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Bob Frigno has seconded. Okay, let's bring it to a vote. If we can get the plan off of the screen, it would help. So I can see. Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm a yes. Carmine?
I'm still deciding.
All right, Greg?
Yes.
David?
I'm a no on this. I think it should be 2 separate applications.
Mr. Chairman, maybe we should have a discussion for a moment on the application.
All right.
Yeah. We normally
So
go
we're
into
gonna-
work session and we seem to have just rushed into this right after it was presented.
Yeah.
So,
This first application, again, has significant flaws, but that's a separate point. I think that the 2 application process would make it a lot smoother for everybody. It would make it smoother for the applicant, make it smoother for Tatiana. There's multiple phases to this. It doesn't make any sense to hold them up on moving on to phase 2 when phase 1 is easy.
Oh, the problem is phase one was actually the second part. The original application was for the parking area.
Yeah.
And then they kind of just not ignored, but they didn't really address the issue of the cut trees.
Correct.
So now the way it's gone, it is kind of flip-flopped where we're now addressing the trees and then that's going to follow. So
Mr.
go ahead, Attorney Cordone.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I think, first of all, Tatiana does a phenomenal job and is very conscientious of the role of the commission on all applications. So I just want to be very clear about that. And I think this application is no different. There was discussion about making the remediation take place. And so what happened, exactly what you said, Mr. Chairman, was they amended the application to include the remediation, and that's now going to be phase one. To have it be a separate application, the commission can do that, but I don't know if that helps the applicant. It probably makes it more difficult because they have to come back.
Yeah,
and if we make phase one a condition of approval for any activity with respect to phase two, then this commission is completely protected in that regard. So there was discussion on this. The application kind of had evolved based on what this commission had recommended and that the remediation take place. So that's my recollection of what took place. And I hope that might be helpful, Mr. Chairman.
No, and I agree. Tatiana brought it out that we would be addressing it as a two-phase application rather than going into the two separate, because it sort of just handled it and addressed it. So
Obviously,
again,
it wasn't.
so long as we get the report that the first phase has been done and she's happy with it, and if not, she'll come back to the commission and address it with us. Otherwise, as I said, the second part, we're not sure which way P&Z will go on that. They may enforce it. They may say it's not necessary.
But it also assumes that we're okay with phase two when we may not be. So,
Mr. Varespi, I don't understand that part of it.
These are two separate issues.
It's before you tonight. So if there has to be a separate application does not. If you don't like phase two, then you don't have to approve phase two tonight. You could deny that, but
we can't deny phase two because it's one application. It's all lumped up into one thing with two phases. And
okay, let me ask you something, David, because I thought Mr. Silva went through the prior meetings and this tonight addressed it fairly well. We went through the fact that they weren't going to do the pavement, they were doing the grass area. There was quite a bit of discussion on that. I guess I'm asking, what would be your issue on it?
The applicant is doing something on his site that's forcing this approval. And I mean, it's a self-imposed hardship. I guess most applications that come before us are self-imposed hardships for a lot of things, but it doesn't give us the ability, the way this is structured, it doesn't give us the ability to look at these as two discrete activities that have nothing to do with one another.
Exactly. There's the issue at the pump station. And then there's
that's a completely separate issue. And that should just be, taken care of.
Mr. Chairman, it would be as if you have two activities on the same property that involve wetlands. Someone's putting on a front porch and someone's putting on a swimming pool. There's two activities taking place on this property. One is a remediation based on a violation. The other one is an application with respect to expand parking. They could be broken up into two applications, or they could be voted on, one contingent upon the other here. And in either event, they don't necessarily have to be connected in the wetlands approval. You're just reviewing whether they're impacting the wetlands, the separate activities on the same property.
Okay, so is it your suggestion that what we should do is we vote on the phase one, and then we make it as part of our motion that they would have to come back as in a separate application for the phase two part of it?
That's up to the commission, unless there's a problem with the phase two tonight. If you're otherwise okay with the phase two as Mr. Silva presented it, then I wouldn't understand the justification to make them refile only for the purpose of saying it's a separate application. If they
All right, let
can't
me
do
do
phase
this.
two
Let me
without
do-
completing phase one in your approval, then this commission is protected.
All right, let me do a
You're
quick
okay
straw
with phase
poll.
two.
I'm comfortable the way it is, with them, being able to do the phase one, phase two. There's not a vote, but it's just a straw poll. How about you, Greg? Are you comfortable with what's
Yeah.
being proposed in phase two?
I'm fine with it. I guess the question I'm trying to understand, do David and I'm not sure where Rich is. Do you not agree with the parking expansion? Is that the issue, moving closer to the wetlands? Or do you think there should not be a parking expansion that way?
I think the parking expansion is a completely town-created problem. They could go to the ZBA, they could go to P&Z, whatever the case may be, and I'll have to look at the exact determination, but they should never have been required to get a wetlands permit to move it because the town should never have forced them to do so to begin with. They are using it's a permitted use of their land. They chose to use it to do a permitted use, which was to store 18-wheelers. There's no problem with that, but it conflicted with their parking requirements. As a result, it then forced them to come to wetlands, and that created a slippery slope of other issues. They never should have had to request permission because the only reason is, maybe I'm wrong, but it appears to be two town agencies with conflicting regulations.
Unfortunately, go ahead, Attorney Cordone.
Commissioner Deacon, the applicant can certainly apply for a text amendment or apply to ZBA. The town is not forcing them to do anything. The applicant has chosen to conduct this activity, as you stated, on their property, and it doesn't comply with the current parking. That's the current understanding. So it's up to the applicant to determine the course within which to rectify it, and this is the path the applicant has chosen. So there could be certain zoning approvals later that might make this moot or make it different. But that's how they're here before us. We're not, we only are following the regulations, both zoning and wetlands, as they exist.
No, I understand. I guess I'm trying to save the applicant money. Dave has a completely other reason. I'll let him go.
Remember, it came in as a violation, so.
Right.
Again, to me, I just think we're protected either way. Actually, remember when they first came in, this was going to be paved and all that. Then they came in with the grass, which is actually better for the wetlands if they indeed have to do it.
Right. My concern.
I'd like to, go ahead.
The two separate applications is a different issue, but my concern initially with it was based on the square footage of the building, there's sufficient area for parking to support the use. Now they've chosen to store trucks on there, which makes the resulting paved area insufficient to support the parking requirements for the use. So now they're expanding their parking lot, which will exceed the requirement for the building because they want to have this other use going on.
Correct.
There's no prohibition against overparking.
Again, that's a P&Z issue. Right now,
Right.
It's before us. And we have a motion out there. And I really don't see breaking it up because I think the way it's been handled, I think Tatiana's covered it pretty well with showing the two phases. I was doing a straw poll. I was a yes. Greg was a yes. Bob, are you a yes, accepting it the way it is? John?
Yeah, first I want to apologize to Tatiana. I didn't mean to really get all over. I was more disappointed that we didn't break this into two applications like I thought we were going to do. But just to make things move smoothly, I'm going to make it a yes, okay?
All right. Thank you for your consideration to our hardworking.
Yes, our hardworking yes, our engineer is doing a great job, believe me.
Always does, always does. Carmine? Are you okay doing it this way?
Yes.
Okay. So there is a motion out there. I believe Bob seconded it, which he did, and let's go for the vote. I am a yes. Greg?
Yes,
Yes.
David?
It's a reluctant yes, but a yes.
Okay, Bob?
yes,
Rich?
I don't like it, but it's the voting against it would be a disservice to the applicant. So I am going to vote yes.
Okay. John?
Yes.
And Carmine?
Yes.
Okay, it passes unanimously. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Silva.
Thank you. Have a great evening, and thank you for all the service the commission does to the town.
All right. All right, good night then. Application 25-42, Town of Trumbull. It's a permit approval to construct a new middle school and demolition of existing school, including parking, landscaping, playing fields, site lighting, stormwater management, and utility improvements within a regulated area at 530 Daniel Farms Road. And for the record, it is Hillcrest School that we're talking about. I see a Randall Luther. I believe you're going to be speaking for it, sir.
Yes, I drew the short straw. I will be speaking
All
for
right.
it tonight.
Never be in the room when they bring out the straws. That's the first rule. So,
I'm looking to see if Bill Wilsley, he was also from Langen Engineers, and is he in the waiting room, Tatiana?
Yes, I just promoted him.
Great, thank you. So Randall Luther with TSKP Studio Architects, representing the Hillcrest Middle School Building Committee. Michael Scott, who presented before you at your last meeting, was not available, so I am filling in. My understanding is that the discussion at the last meeting generally was positive, but there was some interest in maybe some educational opportunities that could be implemented as part of the application. So we did in fact talk to the school administration, and we talked to Langen, our civil engineers, and their environmental soil scientists. And what we've first of all, the school was interested as well. They thought that was a great idea. And so what we want to do is provide some walking paths from the main entrance out to the north west detention area, and supplement that with some educational signage explaining just how the stormwater system works, how infiltration works, and replenishment of groundwater. We also have some meadow mix that is shown in the current planting plan, and so there's an opportunity there for some additional signage. The site plan is such that there's the building, there's lawn, then there's meadow mix, and then that transitions to the upland review area in the wetland. So there's a nice transition from building to lawn to the wetland area. And so again, there's an opportunity there for some additional signage, maybe some pollinator gardens, things like that. We have two kinds of meadow mix currently specified. The one for this kind of sloping areas leading into the regulated area, into the wetland. And then we have a second meadow mix that is more appropriate for the detention basins. So again, there's an opportunity to look at the different kinds of plantings that occur in these different kinds of environments. The only
I'm going
other
to interrupt for 1 second. Were
Absolutely.
there any thoughts about rain gardens at all?
well, when you say rain gardens, you mean like a man-made wetland?
David, give him the breakdown on it, like what we did over at Echo. Remember, there's a sign there. There's actually a
Right.
bench and the details. Go ahead, David. You're the expert on that.
So sometimes we've done rain gardens where the water comes out of the pipe, goes into depressed area that is planted with a specific soil mixture profile and plantings, and the water infiltrates through that. It's an infiltration basin as opposed to a detention basin. So that there's the plants there, and it's a little bit more designed than just, your standard run of the mill cut and paste detail for, the detention pond.
Sure.
And generally, there's signage explaining what's being done and, what it accomplishes. So
There's
Yep.
also
I didn't-
biofilter swales where,
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
you're doing the same sort of thing and you're having check dams as it moves down through the swale. So it's slowing that water down and it's planted with, appropriate plantings for that use.
I apologize for interrupting, but I
No,
wanted to give
sorry.
that thought.
No, that's fine. And Bill, can you kind of shed some more light on that conversation?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, my name is Bill Wilsey. I'm with Langen Engineering in New Haven. I'm stepping in for Brian Phillips tonight. So for your question about the rain garden, our decision to use what we call the detention basin is primarily due to the volume of stormwater we have to treat. A rain garden typically is for a smaller volume. And in this case, we don't feel that a rain garden will be able to adequately treat and detain the volume that we're treating for this area. This system is also designed to infiltrate stormwater similar to a rain garden. Really, the only difference is the depth of the pond or the shape of the basin and the plantings, like you mentioned. Does that answer your
Well,
question?
I'll tell you how the thought came about is that, our Catholic high school, when they came in, they did the walking paths and they made it a very educational situation. And, we thought maybe, we'd have the opportunity to do it, but, St. Joe's, did it and it turned out very nice. So if you would,
there's
you
still
can continue. If
certainly
it can be done, it would be nice. If it, a small one, whatever. But if it can be fit into the plan, it does. If it isn't, then that goes to Tatiana. She's our lady that works on the stormwater and all that. So
There have been some hybrid details done where it's sort of, I understand the volume of water that you're talking about because there's a lot of volume of water here. But there's been hybrid details that have been done that sort of, mix the two approaches so that there are some better plantings in it and the water actually in the basin itself sort of comes in and goes through a serpentine to an outlet area. So in low flow periods, it's running through that and getting the plants are doing the biofiltration and the infiltration and everything. And then in your high flow events, the whole thing becomes submerged like in a normal swamp. It's just putting a little bit more attention to it and, looking at it a little bit more in depth and trying to create a more environmental approach.
Yeah, absolutely. We can still include the educational elements. We would just, call it something different than a rain garden. And we can look at the plantings with our landscape team to provide, something with more variety than just this typical meadow mix that'd be used in this application.
all right.
Yeah, so I guess I would second that. I mean, I love the idea. It's not my area of expertise, but I'm happy to push Bill and his team to see what we can accomplish within that basin to create more educational opportunities. The only other comment I would make is that it's more of a request. The schedule here is very aggressive. We are scheduled to have this project out to bid in April, which means at least the site piece, which means we have to complete the documents in March, and they're going to be beginning construction June 1st in terms of some of the site work. So it's very aggressive. And so if there are any other issues or comments that you have, if possible, if they could just be made a condition of approval, that would be appreciated. If not, I understand you have other responsibilities that go beyond this particular project.
All right, Tatiana or John Mayer, any comments or requests before we bring this to a motion?
No, I'm all set with this one. Thank you.
Okay,
I have a question.
go ahead, David.
Have the planting plans been reviewed by Board of Education Maintenance and Public Safety?
Public safety, I don't know. We've
Because
had, go ahead.
I've dealt with the schools here in town a little bit, and they're cutting down the trees because it's faster to mow without trees. So we're showing a lot of trees, which I love. And my concern is they're going to come through and go, well, we don't want any trees because it slows down the guys in the mower. And then public safety, they don't want evergreens, they don't want shrubs, they don't want boulders, they don't want anything within a perimeter of the school so that someone could potentially hide behind it.
Sure.
And if they're going to come through and strip out all the plantings for their concerns, it would be nice to know about that. This would be a bait and switch, essentially. Like, oh, look at this beautiful thing, and then it gets built, and there's not a stitch of vegetation out there.
So I will say that the current plantings have been done with an eye towards security issues, and also in terms of maintenance issues. We've had ongoing conversation with Kevin Dion, but he hasn't. In fact, we have another walk through the drawings scheduled for tomorrow, and we're going to take him through everything again in detail. So conceptually, he's been on board and he's been giving us comments, but we have not been through in a detailed way, as you're suggesting. That's going to happen tomorrow.
Okay. And there was just a couple variety selections that create a lot of berries and nuisance that might want to be revisited. People don't like berries falling on their cars and stuff, so that's my concerns. And then I'll shut up.
Excellent catch, David. All right, any other comments or questions? Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you. Just a question about the evergreens and Mr. Verespi mentioned the concern about people hiding. Is placing boulders and evergreens around schools a serious public safety hazard that's actually being considered? I mean, that seems
yes, it is.
Yeah, actually, Connecticut has school security guidelines that were issued in the wake of the Sandy Hook tragedy, and in their site portion, they talk about anything that could conceal someone possibly hiding. So those are things that we do have to be cognizant of when we're doing our layouts.
All right.
Fortunately, we're in different times, Rich. So any other comments or questions before I move this to a motion? Okay, we're good. Okay, Greg, can we get a motion to approve on application 25-42?
Yep. I make a motion to approve application 2542, the town of Trumbull, permit approval to construct a new middle school and demolition of existing school, including parking, landscaping, playing fields, site lighting, stormwater management, and utility improvements within a regulated area at 530 Daniels Farm Road, in accordance to the following conditions from the town of Trumbull Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission, Section 1, General Conditions 1.1 to 1.10.
Tatiana, do we need anything else?
I'm sorry, I missed if any educational thing was included, but as long as the commission is comfortable, all set.
All right. Well,
What
that's
I
a
was hearing,
suggestion.
I didn't put to put an additional condition. I know, I forgot the presenter's name, but he was asking more of a request. So if we put it in as a condition, then
No, if it can
I
be
tried to
fit
stay
in.
out of it. Yeah.
No.
Good, thank you.
I mean, my feeling is education's good. If you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, hey. All right, the motion's been made. I need a second.
Second, Mr. Chairman, if I vote
Okay, seconded by Bob, but go ahead, Rich.
if I vote to approve this, I endured 3 years at Hillcrest. Do I get to press the button to send the wrecking ball into it?
Wait a minute, I was there the first year it opened in 7th grade.
Oh, wow.
So if anyone gets to throw
It was built in 1700s.
No, that must have been like 1968 or so. What do you think?
Just about.
What year was it built?
67.
Yes,
Yeah.
John, you're right, because I was 2 years before you. I was the first graduating class, ninth grade, and it was 1960, June of 68 was, so it opened, the fall of 67.
66.
67.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to be kind enough to not ask how many years you each spent there, but that's another story. All right, so
I didn't
we
repeat
had,
any grades, believe me.
there you go. Okay, so the second's been made. We're going to take it to a vote. I'm a yes. Greg,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Carmine,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
and John.
Yes.
And how fortunate were you to have these students? The partook of that school. At any rate, we wish you Godspeed and hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, take care. Be safe. All right, application -25-43. It's Arias W. Stellis is the applicant's representative. It's a permit approval for restoration and reconstruction of existing residence, landscaping, replacing driveway and front walk, and installation of stormwater retention system within a regulated area at 201 Old Dyke Road. Unfortunately, this was on our walk schedule, and as we all know, the snow kind of prevented that. So I've asked for a continuance so that we can walk this, because a few of the commissioners came up with some concerns and they wanted to rewalk it. Plus, it's been on our docket for, not docket, but our agenda for about 2 years. So, Attorney Cordone, can we just go ahead and grant ask for continuance on this? I don't see a representative. Are we legal?
They did send we're well within the timeline, and they did send a letter, I believe, Colleen or Tatiana, just shake your head. Yes, I thought I saw an email today. Yes, that they agreed to the continuance.
Okay. All right, Greg, we need a motion for a continuance on 25-43, if you would, sir.
Sure. I make a motion to continue application 2543 Arias Stellis permit approval for restoration and reconstruction of existing residence, landscaping, replacing driveway and front walk, and the installation of stormwater retention system within a regulated area at 201 Old Dyke Road. Motion to continue the application to March 3rd, the March 3rd meeting. The applicant has granted a waiver to extend the time frame.
All right, and I need a second. Okay, we'll do a roll call. I'm a yes. Greg?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carmine?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And Rich?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what happens
so
if we have snow next month too?
I don't know. At that point, you've been on a little bit longer than me, and we're both older than dirt on this commission. I've never encountered this bad, a winter, so we'll have to see.
Well, we've had them, but I don't think we've had applications coming in the winter when we've had this. So,
I know. Well, it's been unusual. This whole last 6, 7, 8 months has been unusual, John.
2010 was a real bad winter too, I believe.
Yep. All right, so
So moved.
that is done. We need to I need a motion to close wait a moment, I'm sorry.
No.
I almost misspoke. Okay, on old business continuation of public hearings on application 25-10 and 25-11. The applicant has asked for a continuance, or have they granted a continuance, Attorney Cordone? Have they asked or have they granted it?
Both. My understanding, and Tatiana can please jump in if you want, is that our environmental third-party reporter is prepared a draft report, is working with the applicant's environmental expert to review that. And so they've requested a continuance of time for the parties to work through that. So they have sent a letter to that extent.
All right, so then when they come and they present, it will be hopefully,
Hopefully there will be a consensus that the commission
Right.
can consider. If not, the commission will have to make a determination.
all right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, can we do this jointly or should we do it separately, Attorney?
No, you could
Cordone?
you could do it jointly. Just read the application numbers and
Okay.
make the motion.
All right, thank you.
Problem.
All right, Greg, we need a motion for continuance on applications 25-10 and 25-11.
Make a motion to continue application 2510 and 2511, Amelia Ferry, to the March 3rd, 2026 meeting with the applicant granting a waiver to extend the statutory time frame.
Okay, who would like to second? Bob Frigno has seconded. Okay, we'll take it to a vote. I'm a yes. Greg?
Yes.
Yes. David?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carmine?
Yes.
John?
I'm abstained. If you remember, I missed the first meeting
Oh, yeah,
all the way
that's
back
true.
in April. That's how long this has been going on.
I know, John. Remember, I'm an old guy. Treat me, tenderly there. I forgot. I apologize.
No
And
problem.
Mr. Deacon?
Absolutely and emphatically no.
Okay, so
They are
you're
making a
saying no.
mockery. They are making a mockery of the process. I don't want to hear about the third party taking too long. They're making a mockery of the process. I think, well, I'll hold my tongue to not affect any further court proceedings.
And I like the fact you're holding your tongue. Okay, so there's 5 approvals, there's 1 abstention and 1 no. So that's been granted. All right, Greg, have you had a chance to review the minutes for January 6th, January 13th, and January 26th?
Yes. Should I do the public meeting separately, or can we do all 3 in one motion, you think?
You can do all
I don't
3
know,
in one motion.
Yep.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Town of Trumbull Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Commission regular meeting held on January 6th, 2026, and 2 public hearings that were held on January 13th, 2026, and January 26th, 2026.
Okay, need a second on that motion? It's approved or seconded by Rich Deacon. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. God willing, we're going to try to do a walk on February 23rd, which is a Monday, for application 25-43. I don't think we're going to be able to include 26-02, but we'll put it on there and see what works out. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to Mr. Deacon and see if he can untie his tongue. Do you have anything to report from P&Z? Anything coming up for us?
Nothing particularly large in the wetlands front. There's a 150 unit affordable housing complex being proposed on Reservoir Avenue. That will be soon coming to a vote. That's probably the marquee application coming up. Other than that, nothing particularly.
Is there any wetlands there or anything concerns us?
Not to my knowledge, no.
All right, so right now there's nothing on your agenda. All right, if we're good, Colleen, anything else that needs to come before the commission?
No.
All right, then if there be no objection, I move to adjourn and I thank you all.